Hey everyone! Thanks for checking out another episode of Wonderful Garbage. It's your host, Angela. If this is your first time listening, thank you so much for checking us out. And by us, I mean me. Thank you so much for checking this out. I totally appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. I am in my Usher knockoff shirt I bought off some guy off the street when I went to the concert a couple weeks ago. If you can see, I also curled my hair. I'm really trying to do the Utah curls now that I have more layers in my hair and I have bangs that have changed my entire personality. So you're welcome if you're watching on camera. Just kidding. Anywho, how is it already going to be the end of October? It's so dumb. I'm not ready for the holiday season. It is just a very, very busy time, and I just don't want to do it. I love the food. My family loves to cook. We're a big family. We always make way more than it's needed. Everyone has really, though, perfected some really great dishes over the years. So, like, we all have our dishes that we bring to Thanksgiving and to Christmas. Every now and then, someone will throw in something new, but we like what we like. And I guess I am excited to eat. That will be a great time. Um, if it ever gets colder, I will be more excited for the holiday season. We got a tease of a cold front last week here in Austin. I wore one chunky sweater. It was so nice and comforting. The next day it was like 85 degrees though, and I continued to wear sweaters because I wanted to manifest that coldness back again. I think it's currently like 88 degrees and I freaking hate it. So maybe I'll get more into the holiday spirit and be excited about it being November soon if we can get our weather into the 60s, even the 70s. It just needs to be cooler. It's ridiculous. But yeah, hope y'all are having a good week. I'm not sure if I said that already. I was just really on a tangent about the heat because I just got back from a chiropractor appointment. I love the chiropractor. I go once a month for a neck adjustment. It makes me feel so good. It clears all the tension from my head. I used to get really, really, really bad migraines, and ever since I started going to the chiropractor like years ago, my migraines have subsided. So I love it. He like cracks my back and my neck and it feels so good. It sounds so weird, but that immediate release of pressure from my head once my neck is cracked is amazing. So yeah, I go once a month. I love it, but I walked outside in a sweater. I was like, what the fuck? Why is it still so hot? I hate it. I am I am ready for the clocks to change. I am ready to get an extra hour of sleep. I think we could all use it. I love it. So yeah, that should be happening soon. More sleep, cooler weather. Let's make it happen. My fantasy football continues to be a struggle. I am in like the middle of the standings in two of my leagues, tied with like a couple of people for like fourth or third place or fifth or something. I don't know. But just like in the middle of the pack yet, like we're still in that time of the season. I am doing complete shit though in one of my other leagues, tied for last, which is trash. I was in the championships in that league last year, and now it's the total opposite. So that's fun. One of my friends in our fantasy league, though, shout out Bernice. Sorry, I did finger guns again. I'm really trying to not. She sent to our fantasy girls group a TikTok of this kid who was crying in the car with his dad, just being like, Chris Godwin's injured and Brandon Ayuk, and he starts like naming all these people. And his dad's like, hey man, it's gonna be okay. Like, we'll look at the waivers, we'll see what you can do, who you can add. And he's just so sad. And I was like, I feel you, dude. I feel you. Again, I think I've said this before. I feel like injuries have just gotten way worse and more frequent after COVID. I don't know what happened, but we are just having way more injuries than we used to. So that's fun. And I say we as if I do anything. But yeah, okay. I think I have a good pop culture recap for y'all today. Lots of Bravolebrity news. Two trailers came out this week for Bravo shows, so I took some notes on that. Yeah, let's just get into it, y'all. Thank you again for checking out Wonderful Garbage. I really appreciate it. Let's get into our pop culture recap. All right, we have some baby news to start with. Jennifer Lawrence is pregnant with her second child. A rep has confirmed with Vogue. She has a 2-year-old son already, so another potential Nepo baby. Since she is obsessed with the Real Housewives, I'm wondering if this baby's gonna have more of a Real Housewife-esque name, like Bethany Richards, Morgan the Third, or Scary Island Worldwide, or Marisol Gaki's something. I don't know, right? But congratulations to J-Law. She's actually going to be in a movie that is Real Housewives inspired, and it's going to be a murder mystery. And it's called The Wives. There's no premiere date. There's no info about who else is going to be in the movie with her. But it is going to be Housewives inspired. So I am expecting lots of drinking, yelling, name calling. I want to hear the word like pernicious. Maybe someone has a fake leg or a fake body part. There has to be like a psychic or something on board, you know? I am so ready for this movie. We need to know more about it. But anywho, congratulations to Jennifer Lawrence and her family on baby number 2. Alrighty, another congratulations goes out to our pop queen Britney Spears. She announced that she's married again. Did y'all hear this? Did you hear this? Breaking news. She married herself. She posted an Instagram video over the weekend in a ivory silk wedding dress. Not even, well, it's a silk dress with a veil, letting the world know that she has married herself. The caption says, "The day I married myself," bringing it back because it might seem embarrassing or stupid, but I think it's the most brilliant thing I've ever done. And I couldn't remember if she had posted this before or not, or if it was a video she had and is now letting us see. I can't keep up with it all. I think my brain resets every couple months. I don't remember things. It happens like my husband will be like, "You want to watch a movie?" I'm like, "Okay." And we'll be scrolling. "Oh, let's watch this." He's like, "We saw that already." I'm like, "What? Tell me." I have no idea. So maybe Britney has told us about this marriage before. I personally don't remember. I just want her to be okay and happy. I grew up listening to her music. She was an idol, icon. I love her so much. She still is. I feel like if we ever get a time machine, I want it to go to Britney Spears first. Let's go back in time, start of her career. Let's surround her with people who ultimately have her best interest at heart so she can be a rising star, live her life freely and wonderfully, and just get everybody away from her that was trying to control her, you know? Oh, but congratulations to Britney. I want her to I just want her to be happy and free and loved and cared for and be okay, you know? It's wild. But congratulations. Okay, we have some Secret Lives of Mormon Wives relationship news. Yes, we do. Taylor and Dakota appear to be back together again. She posted a picture of him over the weekend with a quote that says, oh, well, she posted a picture of him and like her family, their family hanging out at like a gun range or something. And then she posted another story on Instagram that says, due to personal reasons, I'll be back with the same man I said I'm done with. I love that. It made me laugh. I feel like every girl or like every person should have that quote in the back, like on their phone. And then when they get back with the person they said that they were gonna quit, it's like, psych, I'm gonna let you guys know I'm back. She actually ended up deleting that. I don't know. Maybe she was getting like a lot of flack from people about it. You know, if you can make it work, make it work. If it's good and healthy, be good and healthy, right? She told Us Weekly last month, we are not fully together, but we're not fully done. I don't know what the future holds with him and I. Sounds like it's a work in progress, and they're trying. We'll see what happens with season 2. She said they've been doing a lot of couples therapy and coaching, especially seeing how they were on TV, which a lot of Real Housewives say that too. They say, especially after her first season, like, oh my goodness, I learned so much about myself because I got to see myself play back on TV. When you're in it, when you're in the middle of it, you're not thinking about it so much, or you maybe are seeing yourself from another point of view. And then once those episodes are out and you get to like sit down and really see how you process stuff or how you handled it. Oh, if you're watching this on video, I have my emotional support blankie. I was just pulling it up. They got into their relationship really quickly, especially like her divorce. Then they got pregnant. Then they lost the baby. Then she was arrested for domestic violence. Then she got pregnant again right after that, or was pregnant when I don't remember. I think the arrest stuff was first, and then she got pregnant again. But again, I watched that whole series like a couple months ago, and I can't even tell you the timeline. My brain reset. But a lot of it happened really fast. I hope it's good. I hope it gets better. I hope it's the best relationship that she's ever been in when she looks back on it like 10 years down the road and everything's fine. Oh, okay. Some other news about Jen Affleck. She's apparently still with her husband, Zach, even though we did get teased a couple weeks ago on TikTok that made it look like they were separated or taking a break, but nope. And like, you don't want to root for people's relationships to end, that's not nice. But when someone's not treated fairly or with respect, then you're like, ooh, girl or man or whoever. It's like, oh, just like, maybe don't be with that person, But yeah, if you watched the show, you know how he treated her when she went to the Chippendale show with the rest of the girls. She was so respectful. She stayed away from them when they went backstage. She didn't even stay for the show. She left she left before because Zach was literally threatening to divorce her and rage texted her throughout the entire night while he was gambling her money. Yeah, make that make sense, I just hope he's not on the second season because I think they're in New York for his medical school. So maybe she's just back in Salt Lake for filming and he's away. That would be ideal. Oh, okay. I saw this on TikTok. The account is Zinny Jen. And apparently she was a production assistant on the show and she spilled a couple things. So apparently Jen's mom lives with her and Zach, but for some reason Jen didn't want that on the show. I don't know why. Apparently after they wrapped, Taylor's ex-husband didn't want the kids on the show. So they had to go back and refilm a bunch of stuff, and it ended up pushing back the show 6 months. So maybe that's why they had that gap happen where the first episode we get it, and then like 11 months later they pick filming back up for episode 2. The production assistant also said that Whitney uses an AI app to run her social media, and she didn't want anybody knowing because she wants to be seen as a creative, and was also insinuating that Whitney is really cheap. That app was free. She doesn't like paying for stuff. She was like, damn, this production assistant is spilling some tea. Also, ABC wanted money to say that Demi's husband was on The Bachelor, so they couldn't mention that in the show. And if they did, ABC was going to get money for saying the word Bachelor, which is crazy. But also, did this girl get fired and that's why she's spilling all this tea? Because I feel like if you're there filming or like working on the set, are you saying all this stuff? I don't really know how any of that works, but thank you for sharing. I love that. Ooh, all right. Jay Cutler, Kristen Cavallari's ex-husband, and like a football player, right? He was arrested for DUI last week after he allegedly rear-ended after he allegedly rear-ended another car. According to Us Weekly, he's also charged with possession of a handgun while under the influence. He allegedly tried to leave the scene and offered the driver of the car that he allegedly ran into. I'm saying allegedly a lot, so because we're not there. He allegedly offered the driver of that car $2,000 to not call the cops, which is wild. Once the cops got there, one of the officers said that he was staggering, swaying, and like really heavy-footed while walking. They could tell something was up. He also had bloodshot, glassy, red, pink, watery, and dilated eyes. Those are a lot of adjectives. Yes, those are a lot of descriptive words. Also, Justin Timberlake, who? So on Kristen's podcast this week, she said that she wasn't going to comment too much on it, but wishes him the best and hopes that he gets the help that he needs. I'm bringing all of this up because what really made me laugh, it's not a laughable situation, but the way that Jay Cutler was identified with Page Six made me cackle. They posted on Instagram, they referred to him as the very Cavallari alum. Cavallari. Very Cavallari. Gosh. Very Cavallari alum. It didn't mention anything about him being an ex-football player, which I loved. And I feel like that caption had to have been written by a woman. And I hope this happens more with men getting identified by their wives or ex-wives or their partners' accolades. And I know saying that a reality TV show is an accolade is probably a stretch, but justice for the women or the people who never get recognized for their own accomplishments and are always identified with their partner's things. I feel like we saw that a lot in the beginning with Amal Clooney when she first started dating her husband, George Clooney. She would get identified with his job and his successes versus her own. She's a super successful lawyer and a human rights activist. And we see that, right, with like other women, other people, they get accredited for, or they get recognized or identified in an article, right, with like their partner stuff. So then I went on a rabbit hole of women who discovered things, but their discoveries were actually credited to men. And y'all, the list is wild. It's an article from Marie Claire. I will link it in the podcast and on my Instagram so you guys can check it out. But there's two that I had to bring up. There are a lot more important things in the article, like a woman who revealed the molecular structure of the double helix, like DNA double helix, computer algorithms, computer coding, the bra, dark matter, disposable diapers. So, like, all these things, a cure for leprosy, all these things were identified or figured out by women, but then were credited to men. But there's two that I do want to talk about. So Hedy Lamarr, she was an actress, and she developed the idea of frequency hopping, which led to wireless communication. And she was trying to help the US Navy with that and was trying to bring this technology to them, and they denied her patent. And then later on, when more research was done on it and it validated what she was trying to provide the military, then the patent was approved by a man. How ridiculous is that? And then she didn't even get credit for it up until like right before she passed away in 2000. How crazy. Another one, Elizabeth Phillips, she created the game Monopoly, but she had called it the landlord's game. Back in 1903, she created this game. She said she designed it to protest against monopolists like the Rockefellers, but it got credited for another guy creating the game. Right? How crazy is that? Anyways, I kind of went on a tangent, but I hope you liked how I was able to connect Kristin Cavallari and Jay Cutler to discoveries made by women who are credited to men. You're welcome for that. It's just crazy. Anyways, I will link the article, like I said, so you guys can check it out and share it with everybody that you know. Ooh, okay. We have some Diddy-esque things. The former Abercrombie and Fitch CEO Mike Jeffries got arrested this week in part of a criminal investigation into alleged sex trafficking of more than a dozen people, according to the FBI. I got this info from ABC News. It is literally all over the internet, though. So Mike Jeffries and his partner Matt Smith and a third man by the name of Jim Jacobson are accused of operating an international sex trafficking and prostitution business that recruited young men for parties in the U.S. and internationally, according to a 16-count indictment. The article goes on to say the former retail executive Jeffries and Smith relied on their vast financial resources. Jeffries used the powers of his CEO title of Abercrombie and had a bunch of network of employees, contractors, security professionals to have them all run a business that was dedicated to fulfilling their sexual desires and ensuring that their international sex trafficking and prostitution business was kept a secret. Gosh, how disgusting. They allegedly paid lots of men to travel around the world and engage in sex acts. They were calling them sex events over a 7-year period. How eerie. And just how eerie similar it is to all of the Diddy shit. And I just wonder if any of that was related at any point. The men who were hired to travel around were given drugs. They also hired household staff to oversee the sex events. From all the stuff that I've read about all the Diddy sex parties, it just sounds so similar to what was happening there. One of the guys, I think it was Jim Jacobson, would travel around the world to find these guys and have them try out for the sex events on him. If you watch the Abercrombie documentary that was on Netflix, that was pretty eye-opening to just what the culture of the company was like and how the CEO was. The guys who were the victims in this, the victims of these acts, were told that these events would lead to modeling gigs, especially with Abercrombie. They would get famous, and not participating in these events would harm their careers. So fuck these nasty ass people. I hope they rot in jail forever until the end of time. These people are absolutely disgusting, and I'm happy they got arrested, and I hope that they are in solitary confinement forever and never get to speak to another human being, because this is absolutely horrible. It just sucks because more people are coming out of the woodwork, as they say, and we're finding out they're just disgusting people, and just how many of them, right, around the world are like this. Like, there's so much stuff we don't know about. Oh, it's horrible. Speaking of horrible people, apparently Zach Bryan is a douche. Another male musician who's trash. Maybe David Grohl will welcome him with open arms. Dave Grohl? David Grohl. Dave Grohl. I don't know. So Zach Bryan, he's a country musician, was dating Barstool's podcaster, Brianna LaPaglia. They dated for about a year. They moved in together over the summer, a little over a year, actually. I mean, time is a construct. They moved in together over the summer. She was going to a bunch of his shows. She was all about him, obsessed. And he looked obsessed with her too, but apparently not. They broke up. Seems like he was cheating. Surprise. So they broke up. He posted about it the next day on social media, saying like, I love her, I respect her, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, Brie had no idea that he was going to post it. Like, he didn't give her a heads up and be like, hey, by the way, I'm just going to let everybody know that we're broken up. She got blindsided, posted on social media, even posted like a crying YouTube video, which, oh, girly, I know you're going through it, but those are so cringe. I get it if you start crying on a podcast and you choose to keep it in. Like, if I started bawling right now, maybe I would keep it in. But to record it, cry, and then post it, oh, I don't know. But hey, like, you gotta go through the emotions, right? Heartbreak sucks. But yeah, she was just posted saying that she's blindsided and that she's going to take a break from social media to deal with it, which also, I don't want to laugh. It's not funny, but people who post on social media to say, like, I'm taking a break from social media, respect my privacy at this time. When you're the one who posted this video opening up to us about it, you know, I don't know. She's going through it. But so it came out that this guy, like, is a douche. He was on Raya before they broke up. The internet's really great sometimes because you get receipts of people being trashy, and that's what I love. So somebody posted DMs between Zach and somebody. We don't know who it is. They've now been deleted, but the internet took screenshots. Daily Mail wrote an article about it. Here's the convo. It's an Instagram DM, so it's not anything on Raya. People were just taking screenshots of Zach's profile, and it's his picture. You know it's him. It says songwriter, that he's from Oklahoma. Don't trust a man from Oklahoma. And so they are saying, like, yes, his Raya profile was active before they broke up, but the DMs that were posted are from Instagram. Mystery person says, are you sure you don't want to come meet me? It's pretty quiet. Zach apparently says, Really bad look for me being out with ya. I'd love to, though. Beer sounds great. And then another message that says, please keep this under wraps and be kind to my privacy. Okay. We just moved out there, or here. We just moved out somewhere. I don't know. And if we can keep this between us, I'd owe you forever. These messages were pretty blurry in the screenshot also, so I really hope we're not getting fooled because I love when somebody's caught like this. But goodbye, Zach. I hope Bree finds a way better person. Or just stays single for a bit and lives her life. Go out, hoe it up. But yeah, trashy man. Okay, let's talk about some not really trashy men. I mean, there is one on the show that is giving me the creeps and the ick. Let's talk about the Golden Bachelorette. The way I love this show, y'all. Okay, I am still salty from Keith not getting a rose, but whatever. Nevertheless, she persisted. This week was hometown, so we start with Lake Tahoe. Joan, our Golden Bachelorette, goes to meet up with Guy, which I think Guy is now my front runner. He's a zaddy. He's an ER doctor. I think he gets Botox in his forehead, and I'm okay with that. He takes Joan on a boat ride. The wind is blowing in her hair. Again, Guy is looking like a zaddy. He's controlling that boat. The date is already going way better than last week's date that she had with Mark, and we're 5 minutes into it, and more conversation has been had than what Joan had last week. So we're on the up and up, y'all. They throw rocks into the ocean, which I really hope didn't hit any fish on the way down. They made a wish on both of the rocks for good luck, and they both wish for happiness with somebody else. Not like, not with you, but I wish for happiness with someone. Guys, definitely alluding to the fact that he wants to be with Joan. And I think Joan's just like, yeah, I want to be happy with somebody. They take a boat ride to a restaurant. They talk about the toughness of the show, how it's hard going through it. Other guys are involved, and so it's hard for Guy to be like, I like you, I want to be with you, and then, like, Joan not have anybody else, but she's literally dating 3 other guys, so that's hard. Joan is still bringing up that she is still struggling, thinking about her husband, which I know it's like so hard for her, but she's literally talking about it in every single conversation. And again, it makes me think, it makes my mom think that she's just not going to end up with anybody after all. And if I have wasted every Wednesday for the past 2 months watching this show, I'm going to be sad. No, but we have seen some really great guys on this show who deserve all the love. She's just still really struggling, and I think I've said this before, but I hope she's getting on-site therapy because I think she needs it. They then go to Reno to visit his family, his kids, his brothers, his sisters. He has a grandbaby. They're all talking about the experience. Joan is like, Guy is such a nice guy, person. How helpful he was with Charles when Charles had questions about his wife's passing and feeling guilty about it. So she just knows that he is kind and a sweet man. One of Guy's sisters lost her husband too, so her and Joan bond over that and just how hard it is. But then his sister was saying how Guy stepped up when her husband passed. And I think Joan really liked that because she's also going through that, and she wants somebody who can be that person in her life. And so I think that was good for Guy. He talks to his sisters and he tells them that he's fallen for Joan. He feels like he can really love again after his divorce. It was really rough. And then he ends the date by letting Joan know that he's falling for her. And I think Joan really likes hearing that. It gives her a little more confidence in the fact that if she did choose him, he's willing and ready to go. But here's the thing, it's just like they live in 2 different cities, have 2 different lives. their families are also in those cities that they live in. So, and their work, you know, like guy's a doctor and like how do you leave that? I mean, I know people change jobs all the time and move around, but when you're so solidified in your city, and solidified is probably not the wrong word, but when you're rooted in a place and your family's there also, how do you have the talk about who's going to move where? I wish they talked about this on the show. I don't know if they have, and we just haven't seen any of the scenes of it. I hope they talk about it before proposals happen because I want to know how they feel about it because that's the real thing, right? You guys are all living in a space now where it's convenient. But what happens when you go back to the real world? Which is one thing I do like about Love is Blind is that one, the dating show happens in the same city. So like you're finding people in the city and then you get to live together for a couple weeks to see how it goes. Gives you a taste of being in the real world for a bit. Again, the season is trash. I haven't watched any more than the 2 or 3 episodes I did when they first came out. Not going to waste my time with it. But I do like that they do it that way. I don't know what's going to happen. Anywho, Joan is off to Chicago to have hometowns with Pascal and Jordan. So she sees Pascal first. She says that Pascal reminds her of her late husband, John, because they both make life really fun. And that's a little bit of a red flag for me. I don't think it's healthy to, like, yes, you want to find qualities in somebody that attracted you, like, to your first husband, right? Or, like, something like that. Like, I could see that, but not a replacement to fill that void that you have, you know? Anyways, they have a little coffee date and then they go to Pascal's salon. They're meeting all of his staff. And y'all, this salon is huge. It's 2 stories. It is gorgeous, glamorous. Like, he has really built something for himself. So, props to Pascal. I don't know how he's made it this far. I mean, I guess now we know because Joan says he reminds her of John. But it just can't always be fun, too. It also needs to be practical, right? And I don't know if their practical lives line up. Maybe they do. Who knows? We only see them for an hour a week. Joan says she has strong feelings for him. She loves to see him in his natural element. She thinks it's sexy. I think Joan just wants to get dick down and, like, go you. Go get it. He's opening up to Joan, talking about he's been hurt a lot in previous relationships, is still really guarded, but this process is helping him open up, which I think at the end of the day, if this journey doesn't work out with Joan, but helps you feel better and helps you work through things that you are stuck on or things that, you know, were hindering you, then I think the process is successful. So they go and meet his friends and family. They talk about the experience. He talks about all the snoring of like living in the same room as the other guys and bunking with them. And the grandkids, his grandson's laughing about it. Because he's like, Grandpa, did you have to like share a room with other guys? And Pascal's like, yes. And I had to sleep on this really small bed. Joan talks with his kids. All of his kids have fantastic hair. I love it. Joan tells his kids that he reminds him of her husband. And they all really like her. They're really excited for it. And then she talks with his grandson. And he's like, have you kissed my grandpa? And she's like, yeah. She goes, and my grandson was telling me not to kiss anybody either. Or not to kiss anybody. So it was funny. It was cute. They have a little handshake. So it was a good little hometown. I just don't know if she is feeling Pascal for a deep connection or again, just the funness of it all. Now it's on to Jordan's date. He takes her to eat deep dish pizza. Hell yeah. Point for Jordan. They also eat some cake. It looked delicious. Hell yeah. Another point for Jordan. But then he brings out these little mini liquor bottles and they take a shot. I'm like, oh, okay, Jordan is like stuck in his 20s. Like, I can't figure out if it's cringy or if it's cute. Was it cringy that they're taking shots in these like little mini liquor bottles on the side of a bridge? Or is it cute because they want to have fun? I'm not sure. So he takes them to meet his family, his brothers and his kids. They talk with the brothers. All of his brothers are so sweet and they all look alike in a little way. It's really cute. So then we learn that Jordan might not be ready for a proposal in 2 weeks. And he's talking to one of his daughters about it and just saying, like, if I'm supposed to be able to tell you that I love you and that I want to propose to you in 2 weeks, he's like, I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. It's like, well, what are you doing here, sir? You've just been coasting along. How did you end up in our final four? His daughter says that isn't surprising. She feels that since he's very guarded, very closed off, going through this expedited experience of dating somebody and then thinking that you're ready to propose to them is not his cup of tea. And then Joe's talking to the other daughter and says, I'm not sure if your dad is going to end up choosing me if I like want to be with him. If I say, yes, Jordan, it's you, I don't know if he's going to reciprocate that back to me because he has a lot of walls up. I'm like, damn. So they're both recognizing it. Again, why are we here? Jordan talks with Joan and she's like, yeah, like I still feel like you're a little guarded. I loved meeting your family, but if I'm being honest, I think your walls are up. And he's like, what walls? It's like, okay, we can go now, sir. But he does recognize that he needs to share his feelings and he needs to get better at that. Okay. We have our last hometown in Wichita with Chalk. And Chalk literally rounds up the gang. There are like 30 people at this hometown event. They're at his friend's ranch, a lot of family, his kids, a lot of friends, and his fiance's dad, his ex-fiance's dad. So he was engaged to somebody. She passed away from cancer, and he's still close with her dad. So her dad is even there to meet his potential new wife. I thought it was sweet, but again, a lot of people. They are planting an oak tree in memory of Chalk's mom, so that's really sweet. Joan says she was happy to be a part of that. Joan says that when Chalk left because of his mom passing and then ended up coming back, she realized the feelings that she had for him because she was so excited for him to come back. He's still giving, though, creepy, controlling, obsessive vibes. And he's even like, his eyes go kind of crazy. And he's like, yeah, Joe needs to pick me. Like, I love her. I'm falling for her. I can't see myself with anybody else. Like, it needs to be me and Joan. And you're like, okay, sir. Let's take a step back. Let's breathe in through our nose, out through our mouth, calm our bodies, but also his emotions are probably super heightened because his mom just passed away and maybe now he's putting all of his energy into this thing with Joan and he hasn't had time to process the feelings. I don't know, it just seems controlling and obsessive and I don't like it. He talks to Joan when he's walking her out and says that he's falling in love with her. It's creepy. I think Chalk needs some time. Well, now it's rose ceremony time. One person is going home, and dun da da da, it's Jordan, which actually tracks because he was not ready whatsoever. So our final three guys are Guy, Pascal, and Chalk, and they are taking a trip with Joan to Tahiti. I thought maybe next week would be the finale, but it's not. I'm guessing we still have 2 more weeks for the finale. I don't know. If she doesn't end up with anybody, I will riot. Just kidding. She should not be pressured to be with anybody if she doesn't want to. I don't know. But they go to Tahiti, and Chuck still has creepy, controlly eyes. Something happens though. I don't know if Joan just gets really overwhelmed, but Pascal's like kind of like walking with her and he has his arm around her and he's telling the cameras to go away. He's like, no, seriously, like leave her alone. She needs a moment. Stop. And so I like that he was being protective of her in that moment. Like, get the fuck out of here. This is like real deal feelings. I don't know. But also, who doesn't love a free trip to Tahiti? All right, y'all, that is my pop culture recap for the week. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's get into our Bravolebrity Breakdown. All right, let's start our Bravolebrity Breakdown with some new show news. Jeff Lewis of the very popular old show Flipping Out. I will be honest, honesty moment. For as much as I love Bravo, I never watched Flipping Out. But I will. I'll do it. I heard it was good. It was just like a lot of drama. Anywho, he announced on his Sirius XM show that he has a new show that will be similar to Flipping Out, which was a house flipping show, but it also was like his reality show too. I know him and Zoila, I think that was her name, his housekeeper, and then him and his assistant Jenny, like I know about that. They're not friends anymore. So now there's a lot of drama. And then I think they were getting sued because he had a baby via surrogacy, and the surrogacy was filmed and put on the show, and the surrogate did not want it on the show, and I believe she sued, which got the show canceled allegedly. Allegedly. So he's coming back with something new, but similar to Flipping Out. It was on Bravo for 11 seasons, ended in 2018. No other news about it, just that it's in development. So yay! Congratulations. Welcome back to Bravo. I will watch Flipping Out just so I can have an idea of what it was like. I love a good house flipping show. I love the Chip and Joanna one. You know, we don't know who else is going to be on the show with him, but it'll be cool. Margaret Josephs from The Real Housewives of New Jersey announced on her Instagram that her and Dorinda Medley, who was previously on The Real Housewives of New York, are teaming up for a duo tour called Blonde Ambition, a Real Housewives experience coming to a city near you. Marge said on her Instagram that it's two blondes, all business. Right now they have 4 shows scheduled: New York, Philly, Harrisburg, and Boston. Cool. I guess they'll be talking about their experiences on the show, probably answering fan questions, doing some silly games, similar to like what Vicki and Shannon are doing from The Real Housewives of OC. Maybe they'll talk about being boss bitches. I don't know. But congratulations. Make that coin. Ooh, okay. Do you remember in last week's episode when I talked about our Bravo daddy, Andy Cohen, reacting to what Jen Aydin, also from The Real Housewives of New Jersey, said about her returning Do you remember that? Okay, so Andy was saying nothing has been set in stone. She's not been invited back, but he wishes her well, which is like my favorite Southern thing to say to somebody. I wish you well. Well, speaking of Vicki, Jen was on Vicki Gunvalson's podcast called My Friend, My Soulmate, My Podcast, and she explains what happened. So Jen was on Instagram, did an IG live a couple weekends ago. Somebody commented and said, I can't wait till you're not back on the show next year. Or can't wait until you're not back on the show. Which made her mad, and she just decided to blurt out that she was coming back, even though nothing was set in stone. That got to Andy. Andy was like, hold up, no, nothing has been set in stone, no decisions are made, but I wish her well. So on Vicki's podcast, she said that she did text Andy to clarify. She texted her big boss to explain what she did wrong. She wanted to clarify why she said that she was coming back, that she just wanted to give a snarky comeback to that comment because it made her mad. And she told Andy, until you guys tell me otherwise, I'm rolling with the vibe that I'm still a housewife. Hence, I'm coming back. Okay, girl, that's a stretch. Andy responded, and you know she's not coming back with this response. He said, I knew it had to be some kind of explanation. Thanks for clarifying. Also, tell people we've spoken and no decisions have been made. It's like, oh, maybe that's just the response he has to give because nothing has been set in stone, and he can't be like, oh yeah, we're thinking about bringing you back, because then she's going to run to the hills with it and let everybody know, get it tattooed on her forehead. Wrap her car with it, like, I'm coming back, I'm still on the show. Rent out a billboard somewhere, who knows? I don't know. Maybe she's not coming back, I don't know. If Teresa comes back, maybe they won't bring Jen back too because Jen is a crutch to Teresa and will always have her back no matter what. So maybe if they do want to switch things up and have it not be so divisive, they still bring back Teresa, but no Jen, and then Teresa has to kind of like fend for herself. I don't know, y'all. But, what do y'all think? You think Jen's gonna be back? I really don't know. Ooh, okay. The Daily Mail put out an article this week, so reputable. I'm just kidding. Yeah, they put out an article this week about Vanderpump Rules. Oh, my favorite non-housewife show ever. Apparently, the upcoming season, which would be season 12, could be the last one with this group of people because of salary disputes and unresolved conflicts. We knew it was going to happen, y'all. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. Bravo is still negotiating with a few of the cast who are holding out for more money and unwilling to compromise. That's right, Ariana Madix. Don't compromise for nobody. Just kidding. We don't know if it's Ariana or not. But it probably is because she's on Broadway, hosted Love Island, will probably host it again next year, has just been giving so many more opportunities after all the affair stuff blew up. Some people are also thinking it's Lala, maybe Sheena too. The article goes on to say that it's just no longer an organic group of people who hang out with each other all the time to where they make it easy to film and easy to have storylines that are just natural, like we had in the beginning when they were all degenerates, just drinking, working with each other, sleeping together, chain smoking cigarettes, getting nose jobs after nose jobs. The affair scandal that rocked the Bravo universe where Ariana's boyfriend of 9 years slept with one of her best friends for 9 months right under her nose. Yeah, that completely tore the group apart. Like they've had fights before. A lot of them have slept with each other, all kinds of stuff, but they've always been able to at least bring it back in some way. But the level of disrespect that this whole affair brought and just how it ruined so many friendships, it's like, for what, right? Like, at this point in my life, there's certain people on the show who are doing well without it. So why am I going to subject myself to be back in this space with trash humans when I can just go and make money somewhere else? But also, if you want me back, pay me. And also, I don't even know if we need another season of this, if it's going to be disjointed, if it's going to be divided, where they can't really get along. I don't want to watch that. That's the same issue we're having with the Real Housewives of New Jersey. It's so divided. Where do they go from here? And it's the same thing we're seeing on Vanderpump. So I say just end it now and give us a reboot with the new people, which we kind of think's already happening. We've seen cameras up at SUR, and we know this current group of Vanderpump isn't filming right now, so we know those cameras are going to be for the new group that they're bringing. That new group, though, has the biggest shoes to fill because nothing is as good as old school Vanderpump. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It is a gateway drug into the Bravo universe, 100%. If you're listening to this because you love me and haven't watched anything on Bravo, Vanderpump Rules is your first thing. For Housewives, I would either go Real Housewives of New York, probably first, and then a toss up between, and all of these are old school, so you need to go watch from season 1. OC, I would maybe start with season 3. The first couple seasons were okay. I would start absolutely with season 1 of Beverly Hills, though, for sure. You get to see all their original faces. Okay, Lala was on Jeff Lewis Live this week and was asked about her friendship with Ariana. She says, we don't have one. Shocker. She was asked if her and Ariana have tried to make amends. She said that will never happen, but says she has no ill will towards her. Will always be a cheerleader for her. Was great on Broadway. Heard she was good on Love Island, but didn't watch it and wasn't going to watch it just because of her, is what she was alluding to. She says she feels at peace for the first time with everyone on the show. Let's not forget how hard you went at her, though, and how much shit you gave her for still living with her ex-boyfriend after the affair. Ariana was on the deed of the house, also put in for a deposit, like down payment on it, put so much money into decorating all their interior design. So yeah, she's not going to leave the show. She did say she recognizes that the affair skyrocketed the show into another sphere. It was written about in so many articles, like the New York Times. It's been nominated now for 2 Creative Arts Emmys. So Lala does recognize that all of the pain that Ariana went through, like, it did give them so much more exposure, which Lala made money off of anyway. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know if I need to see another season of this. I don't need to see anybody on any sort of high horse thinking that they're better than everybody else. I don't need to see men in their mid-40s trying to party like they're 20 and trying to pick up girls in their 20s. Like, I don't need to see any of that. I think we should just move on. R.I.P. to VPR. Oh, okay, we have some other sad news. Coming out of our Southern Charm group, another group of degenerates. The beloved butler and friend of Miss Patricia has passed away this week. Michael passed away. She said he's been a part of their family for the past 20 years. We got to see him on Southern Charm, waiting on her hand and foot, making her the most delicious cocktails, his amazing martini, taking her to McDonald's. He was just a sweet, sweet man and a real gem on Southern Charm. He had a spinal cord stroke back in 2021, and then he was put into an assisted living facility. He'd been there the past couple years, and then he had another stroke a couple of weeks ago and ended up passing just due to health issues. So rest in peace, Michael. He was just a really, like I said, a really sweet Southern man. And him and Patricia's friendship was really, really cute on the show. So we are sending lots of love to his family, everybody who knew him, everybody who loved him. I will have to have a martini in his honor. If anyone wants to join me, let me know. If you're watching this on video, I'm getting a little teary-eyed. Oh, I love people. As Kristen Doty said, I'm an empath, y'all. Okay, also in last week's episode, I talked about Dina Manzo from the Real Housewives of New Jersey, how her ex-husband was sentenced to 7 years in prison for aiding in a violent crime. I read more up on it because it did happen years ago and I forgot all about it, and I didn't realize that the guy who was hired to assault Dina and her now husband was paid with a free wedding reception at the Brownstone, which is a catering and reception hall that is owned by the Manzo family. And we saw so many events there on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So, Dina has a sister named Caroline, and they were both on the New Jersey Housewives show. They also both married brothers. So they were both a part of the Manzo family. That was the brothers. Sisters marrying brothers. Like, how cute is that, right? I wish it would have ended up well for everybody. They were close for a bit, had a falling out. Dina divorced her Manzo brother husband, Tommy. He didn't like that. Hired a guy to go and assault them. How insane is that? Also insane that they were like, you do this, I'll give you a free wedding reception at this place. Like, here you go. It's so sad. He's finally sentenced in prison. But Dina's daughter posted on her blog site, Boho Chicken, an article or a post called Don't Poke the Bear. And it talks about her experience growing up with this stepdad who was supposed to protect her and love her, and talks about the complicated relationship they had and how charismatic he was and affectionate he was, and just seemed like this really, really, really great guy who turned out to be a monster of a human being, a serial cheater, just really 180 the persona that he was putting out there. So she writes about it. I'll link it in the podcast and I'll put it on the Instagram page, but it's really sad. I just hope that this brings closure to Dina, her husband, her daughter. But I saw this on Twitter, which was wild. I haven't seen it anywhere else, so we're just going to say allegedly. It's my favorite word on the show. Apparently, allegedly, Caroline Manzo, Dina's sister, and the Manzo side of the family held a goodbye dinner for Tommy, who's going to prison, and charged $10,000 per table for people to come and say goodbye to him. and that apparently, allegedly, they're using this money to help pay off lawyer fees. How crazy is that? I just saw it on Twitter. Someone posted that a family friend of theirs went to it and were disgusted by the fact that they were hosting this goodbye party for someone who is going to prison for allegedly or assaulting their ex-wife and her new partner and causing lots of trauma in the family. So yeah, it's just really sad. It's over, closure, done, done, done. Okay, I'm going to end this Bravolebrity Breakdown with 2 trailers that we got this week, y'all. Bravo's gonna be popping off in November, which is literally like in 10 days, 7 days. It's wild. Married to Medicine trailer. I binged this entire show in like 2 or 3 months a couple years ago. I was addicted. It was wild. It's the best way to watch a show like that, or just any of these reality shows, because you get to see the evolution of all these characters quickly. Okay, but it's season 11, y'all. The drama is wild. I also love that it's a couple heavy focus show. It's very couple centric. It's focuses on doctors out of Atlanta, Georgia. So there's women doctors, there's men doctors, and then their spouses, their partners. We get a new doctor, Dr. Mimi Sanders. She's a psychiatrist, which like the group needs. There's already a psychiatrist, Dr. Greg or Dr. G. But now we have a woman. I love that. Phaedra from Real Housewives of Atlanta's back as a friend of, because she was dating a doctor, so they decided to bring her on the show. She's not dating him anymore, though. Also, Phaedra's ex-husband shows up, which is wild. Miss Quad is back filming full-time, it seems. She has a hottie boyfriend. Dr. Contessa and her husband are back, and she is gunning for Heavenly. Heavenly is an OG on this show, but she makes it difficult for me to watch sometimes. I do find myself fast forwarding through Dr. Heavenly's scenes. I want to be able to watch them. I just don't know. It's just something that I can't sit there and watch it. Looks like there's going to be some drama with Dr. G and Quad's new man. I think I couldn't tell from the back of the head. I definitely knew it was Dr. G. It's either Quad's new man or Contessa's husband, because Heavenly and Contessa were getting into it too. It could also be Dr. G and Dr. Raymond. I don't know. There's a lot happening. They go on a couple trips, which I always love their couple trips. They do some fun beach vacations. One thing I do love about this show is that when they go on a destination vacation, they find a charity or they find somewhere where they can give back to the community. So sometimes they'll host health drives because they're all doctors. So the doctors will have quick patient visits. So there's dentists, there's female doctors. They're helping them just having, like a quick consultation that they might not get normally. And then the partners, the people who aren't doctors are helping to facilitate the visits, are talking to everyone. So I really, really love that about this show, is that they do try to focus on giving back to the community wherever they are. I really love that. But Married to Medicine premieres Sunday, November 24th. So Thanksgiving week. Yeah, the start of Thanksgiving week. That'll be exciting. All right, we also finally got the Beverly Hills trailer. Let's go, let's go. All the girlies are back. Jennifer Tilly is officially a friend of. We have a new wife, Bozma St. John. I believe she goes by Boz. Kyle cries a lot. Sutton says she's not going to bow down to Kyle anymore. Kyle and Dorit are going at it, y'all. They are activated. They're both possibly going through divorces, definitely going through separations. lots of tension there. There's a couple scenes where Kyle storms off. Are we shocked? No, we're not. They're showing a bunch of clips of the girls, and then we hear Sutton say, "We don't need you for this group to exist," but we don't know who she's talking about, and I need to know who she's talking to. Garcelle and Erica possibly make out. They go on some fun trips also, it looks like. Dorit talks about her marriage issues. We see her and PK talking about it. She's like, right now we're talking like 4 or 5 times a day. And he's like, yeah, that's not how it's going to be from now on. It's like, oh no. We actually get Mauricio filming with Kyle, and they're actually talking about their issues. Sutton's talking to Kyle at one point and suggesting that she should go ahead and file divorce or separation. Garcelle says to the group, I can't remember who she's talking to. I don't even know if we saw it. But she says that Kyle told her that PK, who is Dorit's husband, has been texting her. But we don't know the context of it. If you are a Beverly Hills housewife person, people were speculating that Mauricio and Dorit maybe had something, or they got like touchy-feely, because there were points where Dorit was rubbing Mauricio's shoulders and like giving him a kiss on his back at one point, like a little peck. And so when the issue started happening with Kyle and Mauricio, or at least when we were seeing them on screen last season, a lot of people were like, ooh, what's going on there? Are Mauricio and Dorit gonna have something? So then now for Kyle to say that PK was texting her, again, we don't know the context. It's probably blown 100% out of proportion, but we're getting the season in a couple weeks. It premieres November 19th. Yay! So we have Beverly Hills premieres that week, and then 5 days later we get Married to Medicine. It's going to be on and poppin'. We are thankful it's coming up on the Thanksgiving season. We are thankful for these 2 new shows, y'all. Alrighty. Well, that is all of the episode for now. Thank you all so much for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow. If you already do that, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. These pop culture and Bravolebrity breakdowns happen every Friday in your ear holes. And then I do my Bravo TV recaps later on in the week. I'm still playing around on the best times to release them. I don't know if it's better for you guys to have them on the weekend or release them before the new episode's going to come out so you have a refresher. If you have an opinion on it, let me know. I am here to serve you. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of the things. Comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you hate. Please don't tell me what you hate. I'm really sensitive. I'm just kidding. Thank y'all again just for listening and for supporting. I really appreciate it. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, a wonderful week. Until next time.